everybody. It's great to see you today. Welcome to Living Power, your online Bible study where we are walking through the Bible in a year. Today is August 12th, and today's lesson is entitled A Letter to the Exiles. We are reading in Jeremiah about a time in history when the southern kingdom has been exiled, and Jeremiah receives a message from the Lord and writes a letter to them clarifying a few things because it has become very, very necessary. Today we're going to talk about the background and the reason why it's been necessary for Jeremiah to write this letter of clarification and what was actually happening, what the people were hearing, and why it was so important to the Lord that that be corrected. You see, after 597 BC, when Jehoiakim and the queen mother both were deported, Jerusalem writes this letter to the people in Babylon, to the exiles. You see, what was happening is that there were many false prophets and many just ordinary people that were telling the people that all will be well. You know, you can hear it now, all the politicians, all will be well. You don't really need to settle down. You don't need to be concerned. We have the situation under control. We will be home before you know it. That is not the plan and intention of the Lord. A few days ago, we talked about the Lord speaking specifics to Jeremiah about the exile taking place over a 70-year time period. So evidently, not everyone got that memo, or those that did not believe it and didn't take it to heart. God wanted the people to understand, and He told them through Jeremiah that they needed to get settled, that this was their new homeland, that they were going to stay in Babylon for quite a long time. They were to get married. They were to settle down. They were to have children. They were to build homes. And they were to replant and rebuild their life in this new place. They would be there for 70 years. You know, one of the things that I've come to learn and understand is that when God initiates judgment on individuals or a nation, He expects them to take their medicine, to take the punishment, and it will go much better with the nation and with the people if they go along with the Lord. And we see that the response that the people take during that time, whether they are repentant or whether they harden their hearts even further against the Lord, has a lot to do with how long that punishment or that judgment will actually last. You know, the Lord, when He inflicts, and that sounds like a harsh word, but when He inflicts punishment or judgment, number one, is always just. Number two, it's always for the purpose of restoration. And for the rest of the lesson today, we're going to talk about Israel's restoration, the national restoration of Israel, and the promises that are in the reading today. But, you know, we read a lot about Israel, and it's oftentimes helpful, at least for me, probably for you as well, to look at this and look at it from an individual perspective. Can you ever remember a time where the Lord has punished or chastised you or inflicted corrective measures in your life? Maybe He has, and you just haven't recognized it as His hand. I can think of times in my life where He has, and thank goodness I have been able to recognize it and went along with it because I wanted to understand fully what the Lord had for me, what it is that He had for me to learn, because I knew He would be with me in the difficult time of that particular period of my life, and I knew that He was using it for my good. And that's the same message for you today. If you're going through a difficult period, the Lord is going to use that for your good. But you need to be in tune with what He's trying to do and to be submissive enough that you can go through the judgment, to go through that period of your life, to go through that trial, to go through whatever it is that He has for you in that period of time. Now, there is a promise of national restoration today, and it says that the turmoil of these many years is going to end at some point, and God will give rest to Israel. The turmoil of whatever it is that you are entering will be over at some point, and He will someday give you rest. In Jeremiah 31, verse 3, it answers a question that I'd always been wondering. Maybe you have too. What motivates the Lord to do these things? And the answer says that it's His everlasting love. Motivates Him to correct and to chastise us. If He didn't do that, we should be concerned because maybe we're not God's children. God disciplines His children just like we discipline our children because we love them and we want them to understand right from wrong. God is the same way. And in the reading today, Jeremiah actually gives us 3 word pictures that we can see for Israel, but we can also apply to our life. Number 1, the first word picture that Jeremiah gives us is dancing. And this represents joy. There's always a period in our life of joy and dancing. And this is promised for Israel. Number 2, vineyards. These vineyards represent peace and prosperity. Praise be to God when we live in times of peace and prosperity. Number 3, the third word picture of Jeremiah is that we see watchmen. Watchmen can be stationed on the hill to alert us of danger. But these particular watchmen are positioned on hills to call the people to worship. I pray that the Lord uses me to be a watchman in your life, to stand or sit as it may be, and to proclaim to you through your computer to honor and praise and love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and your strength. For this is the day, this is the time in our life where we are called to rise up and call Him blessed and call on the name of the Lord. We see joy, we see vineyards, and we see watchmen. Can you be a watchman in someone's life today? Can your life reflect? I bet it does. Your life, just in the way that you live it, can reflect your joy in the Lord. You know, we can oftentimes go out and directly evangelize to other people, or we can, in a more quiet phase, pray that the Lord would bring people into our life that could observe and could see that we have something special with the Lord, that we know Him, or we trust Him in a unique way that gives us peace and solidarity in our life. That maybe someone would come up and would ask us, and we could pray that the Lord would bring someone into our life that would ask, what is it about you that makes you so different? What is it about you that gives you such peace? And that could open the door for you to explain that you know the God of Israel, that you know a God that is living and active and that speaks to you and that works in your life, and that this particular God would love for them to know them as well. So in this lesson today, the letter to the exiles, Jeremiah is writing to the people to not only stand firm, but to walk in the direction that the Lord is taking them. For the Lord is sovereign and the Lord is in control. If the Lord was writing a letter to you today, which He is through His holy word, how would He be telling you also to stand firm and to continue to trust in Him? For He is sovereign, and for He has a plan and is fitting all of the pieces together in your life. Can you stand firm as a watchman and call out through the way that you live your life that now is the time to come and worship, for now is the time of peace? I pray that this lesson has been a blessing to you and that the Lord, through my words, would speak to your heart this day. Thank you so much for your faithfulness in this Bible study, in this year-long Bible study as we walk through the Bible, and I pray you will continue with me again tomorrow. Blessings to you.